Alright. Gonna finally try the first tree today. I've been meaning to get to this game for about 2 months, and I've had it that long, and I just never got around to it. So I remember being interested in this back in April when it went up on Limited Run's website. Mainly because it looks very artsy and very interesting. So I guess I'll start a new game. It looked like an Abzu Journey kind of game. I think I talked about it once in one of my Red Dead streams, but I don't really know a whole lot else about this.
Are you awake? I thought I heard you get up.
Yeah, I'm awake. Sorry, I just can't sleep.
Are you thinking about him?
Yeah, a bit.
I can jump
Usually get
pretty
back to
high
sleep,
for a
my
fox.
love. I'm fine.
No, it's okay. What else is on your mind?
I don't know, it seems weird, but I had one of the most vivid dreams of my life. I saw a fox on a snowy mountain, just looking confused and worried. Those eyes, I can't get those eyes out of my head. She was running in the windy snow, looking for something.
Do you think it has to do with you and what's been going on?
Oh, I can double jump.
I don't know.
Alright,
It was just
then.
a dream, Rachel. They're not meant to make sense.
That's
A
not
lot's happened
expected.
the past couple days, that's all.
Well, if you're not going to sleep anyway, you should tell me. I want to hear.
All right.
I can see it's going to be one of these games that has a lot of dialogue. I will say it looks nice. Fox controls alright. It's not precise or anything, it's kind of like this. It's kind of very wide range. Wide range fox, open fire! But it looks nice in the art direction. And this control scheme seems to be fine for this kind of level layout, very open air kind of gameplay. Oh shit. How do I?
So, not far from her home, she followed that path to something unexpected.
Okay, I guess leave the baby.
She couldn't stay, though. She had to find her other two children. So she took that path. She followed it towards something ancient.
Ancient.
Something with answers.
I see a tree off in the distance, and I guess that's where we're headed. I will say the narration, the narrators' mics, I'm not sure what kind of mic they're using, but
Fox looked high and low, searching for any sign of her cubs. Points of light showed the way to this ancient tree. It was as if each one had a story to tell, all their own. The land was trying to tell my story, too. I felt like I was right behind her the whole time.
yeah, the narrators' mics, they sound very, very close and, very moist. And I'm not too interested in that. It picks up good audio, but a little too much. This does look really nice, though. I like this art direction. My first question is, do I have to collect all these lights? Is this like a collect-a-thon or something? I still find that ridiculous, but it's cool. What is this? Why are there seesaw kid rides out in the middle of the woods? Huh. That's a bit odd. And there's a slide set over there. This music is great.
As a kid, did you ever do show and tell in your class?
Yeah, I think I only did it once, when I was in the 4th grade. You know how my life was around then. I wanted to show my class what helped pass the time and distracted me, so I brought a dozen paper cranes I had made. I think I told everyone how badly I wanted to be a bird and fly, embarrassingly enough.
Don't be embarrassed. Every kid wants to fly. For me, it was another toy from my dad, a wooden boat. I remember guarding it so carefully in my hands as I walked into class. When I sat down, a group of boys immediately made fun of it. They asked which trash can I found it in, or why an ugly log was my favorite toy. When I got up, I didn't even want to tell them my dad had carved it. I said it was a joke gift my friend had given me.
Ah, dude, don't do
Kids
that.
can be so cruel.
Yes,
Some
they
of them
can.
I shouldn't have let them get to me, but it did. It's amazing we bounced back at all.
Irregardless of what you find valuable, it means something to you as a person. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter who made it, where it came from. If you value that, don't let it be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of that. That's not a way to live your life. In the end, you'll just regret it like that guy did, I guess, the narrator. I'm kind of stuck on geometry. Okay. I'm getting a little stuck on stuff. Huh. I was gonna say, I thought there's something at the top of that hill.
Usually those kids would leave me alone, but somehow they could tell I was different. They made fun of how far away I lived. They called my dad a sourdough. I was a blabbermouth as a kid, telling my dad stories I made up for hours. But after that show and tell, I didn't tell him much anymore. He didn't know exactly what was wrong, but his best guess was that the toys he carved weren't cool enough. He carved me a tank and tried to tell me what it was like to be in a real tank as a serviceman.
I didn't know your dad was in the military.
I can't jump.
Yeah, in the army. The sad thing is that
jump.
I pretty much forgot
me
him
in.
until just now.
Let me in.
There's so much I still don't know about him.
I'm sorry. He knows how much you love him.
I can see through the world a
You're
bit
going
right
to see him
there.
again soon and have some closure.
Ah,
Sure.
can't get up that way. Oh, there's a tank. No fall damage, that's good. This stream's gonna be a lot of running, isn't it? Very, very nice scenery, though. Love the color scheme. I'm gonna go up here first before I head down to that. Apparently this game's pretty lengthy, maybe around 5 hours from the stuff I've seen. If so, then this game's probably going to be split into maybe 2 or 3 parts. I'm planning on today maybe being an hour and a half-ish, maybe more, no idea. Starting to finally come together with preparations for YouTube being fixed on my part. And also getting ready for my vacation, so I don't know how much time I would have. Oh, come on, it just wants me to jump. There's nothing else up here, so... There's something over there on the right, though. What the heck is this? A box? Oh, I can't get in it. Chips? I know this is supposed to be meta and like psychological and stuff like that, and I understand that fully, but it's still way too early for me to get the gist of what's going on here. Obviously this dude's either depressed or something. Talk about his childhood.
Do you remember what my dad did for a living?
Wasn't he like a lumberjack?
That's one way of putting it. If wood was a canvas, then a carving knife was his paintbrush. Even after working a 50-hour week, even after his hands were more splinters than skin, he would bring home the nicest piece of Alaskan weeping cedar and make me toys. That wooden train was the first toy I can remember, and I loved it. I just knew from a young age I was going to be a lumberjack, like my father.
Oh, season changed. And that tree just popped in. There goes another. Actually, there's quite a bit of popping. Oh, it's not directly the trees popping, it's the shadow effect.
My teenage years were full of sketching, angst, and trouble. I wasn't popular or unpopular. Maybe just forgettable. I guess that gave me a sense of freedom, so I hung out with crazy kids, doing crazy things, even though I mostly just watched the chaos ensue. We did it all. Put fireworks in mailboxes, hide roadkill in people's garages, break windows of the barber shop in Anchorage.
But why?
My dad was furious, but he was so busy working he couldn't do much to stop me from going out.
I think being an adult means there's no one to stop you making hard decisions. He had to make a living, and he couldn't be in two places at once.
Yeah, I realize that now. But at the time, I was sure he was more interested in growing his business than what was going on with me.
Oh, I got butterflies now. Oh, what? What did they do? Stuck on G. Oh, okay. I wasn't able to move for a second there. That's probably the only annoying thing so far is getting stuck on geometry.
He was working another late night, and my friends were over, saying how bored they were and how they had come all the way out to my house for nothing.
Then they can leave.
One of them mentioned how that old, ugly beyond belief truck was still in the garage, and how we should take it for a spin. I was only 15, so I kind of fought it for a while. The next thing I knew, we were careening around the mountain path, rocks spitting onto the sides of the cliff, while my dad's cringeworthy bluegrass blared out the speakers. I drove while my friends were in the back of that yellow and purple truck, throwing beer bottles and trash at anything remotely interesting. It felt like I was soaring in the air with borrowed wings. But all good things have endings. A cop outside of Eagle River pulled us over after he saw us in a bottle rocket into someone's yard. What followed was a long night of talking to disappointed adults and feeling smaller than ever.
You brought that on yourself, dude. You were the one who decided to choose what your friends wanted to do. You didn't have to. Okay. I thought that butterfly would do something. Basically, I'm guessing this game is like a therapy session masked under a video game of sorts. This is one of those kind of walking simulator art games, which I actually really enjoy, but this is a little weird just getting like a therapy lesson with it. Not even lesson, more a session. It's not my therapy or anybody else's, it's just this dude's. We're being told what he had to go, well, what he did, I guess. Ah, looks like I could use butterflies to get up there. That's the thing, though, is that a lot of the symbology that I'm getting from this doesn't really match what he's talking about, at least to me. And I'm trying pretty hard to dissect this. Oh, come on! Wait, you telling me I need 3 butterflies? I mean, alright, I'll go around and collect a bunch of them if I can. I'm not sure if you can double up on them, though. And the fox only moves at either really slow or this speed, so it's gonna take a bit. If I collect 3, I'm gonna need to get that one first. Otherwise, it'll void out when I jump here. Ah, I missed it. Got it. Now I just can't jump. Which is actually going to be a problem for that. Well, maybe I could fall on top of it from this rock. And first off, get this down here. Yeah, I can get it from here. Okay, so I got all of them.
My friends would laugh about that night and talk about how crazy it was. And I laughed along, pretending it didn't bother me. But it did. I imagined my friends growing old in the bush, unable to find that thrill in those godforsaken ice fields. It's like those mountains were a literal wall, keeping me from leaving, where all I would have to look forward to are lumber yards and evening beers. I had to climb over.
Ah!
That was my only goal for a long time.
You gotta be kidding me. Alright. I'm actually face bombing from that. Ugh, that sucked. Now time to go back and get him, I guess. I didn't realize that it had that shorter range for the jump. I have to get right up against the wall then. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. Okay. Double jump. Ah, yes. Finally. That is gratifying. Looks like this is the end of this area. Maybe.
If there was some way I could take my love of drawing and turn it into a way of escape, nothing would make me happier. I wanted to create instead of tearing trees down. I wanted to move to the lower 48, not because I hated it there in Alaska, but I hated the idea of it. It's like all of that spite inside me had created this monster which followed me around my whole teenage years. I put so much energy into doing what others didn't expect of me. Why did I do that?
There's one fact you're forgetting, though. If you didn't have that fire in you, we probably would have never met.
You're absolutely right. Maybe the destination is all that matters in the end. But then why am I awake? Why am I seeing this fox go on her journey? And why can't I stop thinking about my dad? My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
There's a field of depth technique that I'm seeing that I haven't seen in at least a decade. Occasionally when these trees are forming in the distance and such, they're kind of growing and bending into shape the closer you get, and they increase in definition. That's something I don't think I've seen since like early 2010s, late 2000s MMOs. I remember that was a very present thing in things like Fusion Fall and Lego Universe and such, but it's just kind of weird seeing it here. It's just it's a technique I haven't seen in a long time. Maybe I just didn't notice it in other games recently, but oh, that takes me back. Climb, get up the hill. Skyrim it, come on. Find a solid place. There's no way to do it. I can't cheese it. Like that bending that just happened over there, that's something I haven't seen in a while.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods, pen and map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes, the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside.
Aurora
We would
Borealis?
finish our route underneath a twilight
At
sky.
this time of day, in this place,
Sometimes
at this
I was
very
lonely during
moment.
those summer
I don't know
days,
the quote for the thing,
but
but
there was
yeah.
comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind.
I'm curious
though.
if this is actually
There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out.
at
to
the
leave
same
your
volume
childhood
as my
home.
voice, or if I'm louder.
You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Because it sounds like it's about the same level.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. Then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
I don't get it. I don't know what just happened there, but alright. I just kept pressing the circle button. This kind of looks like No Man's Sky. In a good way. This cell shading effect. And the color choice. Not sure where to go though at this point. This is a pretty large area with an indistinguished beginning and end. Like, I went over here. I don't know if it continues over here. I think it doesn't. Like, yeah, it just goes into this gorge. Can I do anything over here? Is there like a secret path? That's a good sign to see. It's very out of the way, too, on the map. I guess that's foreshadowing. I'm gonna go back in here, see if there's anything. There is something here. Can't go that way. Can go this way. Oh, it just takes me back to this thing. Let me try going back to where I started. Maybe those, maybe I do need to collect all 3 of those stone light things. I know I've been on this map too long when the music starts over. I expect that this composition was made to be quite long for exploring the level. And, I assume the fact that it repeated means I've been here for quite a while. Yeah, there's more stuff over here that I haven't seen. Yeah, so there's one way over there and one over here. That's a very scenic forest path.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. We carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage and set up a cinder block campfire at the site we'd always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I love sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me.
I mean, there's not really a whole lot to talk about. The game's kind of doing the talking itself. And it's not like I can riff off anything of this. This is kind of a more down-tempo, serious game, kind of. But it's, this is pretty good. See what this is down here.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk, and I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real, growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
I was thinking about it, but I think now I might actually do it. I think after this stream I'll also stream a bit of Mario Maker. I was considering it, and I almost put it in the title, but I didn't know how long I would spend on this, but given how... Come on, let me do it. There we go. Whoa. Looks like I did them in the right order as well. Huh. I think I'll do a little Mario Maker after this. I'm still, like, in the mood to play games, actually. Because I'm not going to boot up Red Dead for, like, 40 minutes or so, just to do basically nothing. There's a wolf over there.
The perpetrator stood nearby, unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry. For everything.
Yep, fallen. That wolf is a coward. He ran. After the fool. Track him down. He's killing fox babies. Okay, this cliff is extremely... not extremely vertical, actually. It's... I was gonna say, how's the fox keeping its foot in here? But nah, I think that's a tree up ahead, not the wolf, actually. There's another thing up ahead. Yeah, just seeing these plants bend and form once they get rendered in is oddly in and of itself a bit nostalgic to me, just for whatever engine this thing's running in. Maybe Unity, maybe some form of something else, but that's a technique I haven't seen in a while. Takes me back, man. Takes me back.
I need to go to bed. I just can't talk about this anymore. Good night.
Alright, good night, man. Interesting game so far. Very strange one. I can hear my cats fighting outside. They're probably wrestling. Now this is a very dramatic change of scenery.
Joseph, you can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was like? You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood. What helped me was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds, and it made me want to be free like her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she was in the hospital. So I told myself I would fold one every day until I could fly myself.
Do I have to go back there? I was going towards that star that was lit up, but guess that was the wrong thing to do. And there goes the model. Where to go this time? I guess I have to go on this.
I think we both
Yep.
have always loved animals. And for me, that love started with a dog. Sometimes this Rottweiler would come up to our property line and wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed-out dad just so I could buy these off-brand dog biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared? I think my dad was the opposite of your dad in almost every way, except he was in the military as well. He coped with alcohol of every kind. The trailer started falling apart, he got angry, and I withdrew. More and more, I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you. Life got worse and worse. And at one point, I really didn't think I could survive another day with my soul still intact. I had no real friends, let alone neighbors, since we lived in the middle of nowhere. I should have talked to my teacher, but I was scared what he would do if he found out. As I waited for the school bus one morning, I walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed. Something I can't put into words. I summoned courage I didn't know I had, and I broke into my dad's room and found the key to the shed where he had locked my bike. I'll never forget that feeling of the wind rushing by my ears as the sun rose over fields of wheat. I was flying for the first time. I biked as far as my legs could take me until I found a house that felt friendly and that felt like home. Those strangers helped me in so many ways. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my foster family. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have met you. You have strength, Joseph, and you're not as alone as you think.
It's all just so pointless. Just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach. The thought of being a parent myself. How could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns in this, but it always leads to the same thing.
And what's that?
Family.
I'm so glad that you're part of my family, Rachel.
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
This is beautiful. Now that is what I call presentation. Yeah, so far this is actually very, very, very well put together. Liking it a lot. Not a whole lot to say about it. It's one of those games that's an experience.
The fox knew her last cub would be waiting for her at the first tree. She was almost there. The rain cascaded onto the Jade Valley where the entrance to the tree was.
Here we go.
Life was protected there,
Pretty
because
far
that's
down.
where life began. It was now only a mother and a daughter left. Items from my life still dotted the ground as she moved closer to her destination and destiny.
I mean, if we're that close to the end, as he says, then I might actually finish this in one go. Didn't expect that. Everything I knew about this was that it was like a 4 to 5 hour game. If this is like a 1 to 2 hour, let me get that one. It's like a 1 to 2 hour, then that's a bit different than from what I've read, but alright. There we go. Got it. Gotta get the pretty, pretty shiny shinies. And there's a thing up here.
At the end of high school, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Drive. I looked into the best architecture schools on the West Coast, then got a dose of reality when looking at other students' portfolios and the high cost of tuition. I still wanted to be something, to be the next Alvaro Siza, and to make those thousands of sketches worth something in my grand history. But now even an internship sounds impossible. Siza helped me understand how essential emotion is in architecture, and he also said light is the real composer of space. I like to think these glints of light, like not finding a job or even a strange dream about a fox, are something I should be thankful for, even if the illuminated space is something I'm less than comfortable with.
This looks like his dad's stuff. That must be his workshop up there. I think I'm starting to understand the symbology a bit better between the forests and a lot of what they're talking about. I can't get up there, so I guess I'll just head this way. I find it funny how the music completely stopped, though, in this one. Now it's just the sound of rain. Although it's appropriate for what they're talking about. Wait, what is that? Oh. I was like, what was that? It's just a weird light pattern. There's something over there. That's not good. That's some bad foreshadowing.
Was that the last time you talked to him?
No, I called on holidays, and he would call on my birthday. I guess we acted like nothing ever happened, which was stupid. Didn't want to ask about his lumberyard, and I'm sure he didn't want to ask about my job search. I never went back and visited. I think the last conversation we had was about what movies we had seen and what exactly a best boy is in the credits. I thought he would be here so much longer.
Not gonna lie, dude, that kinda does suck as a last conversation. Something more meaty. Okay. Thanks, Rain, for stopping.
In the distance, the first tree illuminated the wasteland. She couldn't go home anymore. She did the only thing she was capable of. Moving forward. My dad died alone in the middle of the wilderness. I should have been talking to him more. I should have done a lot of things differently.
If the first tree on Earth brought life with it, if it taught the birds to sing and fly and showed saplings how to grow, what could it do for us?
Well, that was honestly not the expected outcome I had.
There was a letter I received yesterday from a name I didn't recognize, with a quote I can't stop thinking about. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. More and more, I'm realizing one important truth. Each of us have our own journey to the first tree. But sometimes I'm not sure I'm ready to take that first step.
You already have my love.
Okay,
I
then.
guess her journey was over. But I have no idea. It was only a dream. A distraction from tomorrow.
I don't think dreams normally bring back to memory so many important feelings. Maybe it was just a dream, but it was also a gift.
Yeah, I suppose. But tomorrow we're getting on a plane to the last place on Earth I want to be. The only person that would have made the trip worth it is gone.
You're going to see him and be with him one last time before you say goodbye. I have one last quote for you by Emerson, sealed in an imaginary letter from me to you. It is the secret of the world that all things subsist and do not die, but only retire a little from sight and afterward return again. Go to sleep, my love. We have a big day tomorrow, but I'll be there with you every step of the way.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. Good night, Rachel.
Good night, Joseph.
Okay, that was not the ending I expected. Alright. That wasn't, as deep as I thought it was gonna be. The dude's just sad that he screwed up his growing up on his own and his dad's dead. Okay. There's not, I didn't see a whole, there's a little bit, but I didn't see a whole lot of, meta bigger meaning or anything. It was literally just like a therapist session. Oh, whoa, what now? It's not, oh, whoa, hey, who are you? Nice TV. You guys need to clean this place up. Can I go outside? What do I do? What time is it? Oh, they got one of those funky clocks. 1, 2, 3. It's out of order for normal timing. So it's like 9 in the morning? Although the clock stopped even though it's ticking. It's either, it can't be 9. Oh, they're in Alaska. Maybe it is 9 at night. But I think it's 9 in the morning. Is this it? Is this the end of the game? Am I just stuck here? Just clicking everything now. Wait a minute, why'd you guys leave the back of the moving truck open? I mean, I guess you're in Alaska, no one's really out here to steal stuff, but come on. You don't do that. What if animals got in there? I will say, that's a lot of garbage. I guess that's it. I guess that's the end of the game. That ended very abruptly, very sudden. I didn't dislike it, but it wasn't the best ending I would have thought for this. It really was just the ramblings of like a therapy session of just two people talking. There's not a whole lot of deeper meaning in that. It's more just life. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll do Mario Maker next. That ended a lot more suddenly and blunt than I thought it would. All right, it was fun while it lasted. I think I'll swap to Mario Maker now. But to do that, I'm gonna have to also turn off the stream because I don't have my Switch set up and I need like a minute to do that because I didn't expect to. Yeah, this game's a lot shorter than I thought it would be. Oh my god. Alright, I'll be right back in a minute. I'm just gonna swap over to the Switch instead. Shut off my PS4, get all that going. And I'll be back. So, BRB, I guess. See you in a bit.